All right, so today we're diving into the hospitality industry and specifically how it's about to be reshaped by AI.
Yeah, this is a really hot topic right now, especially with all the talk about AI replacing jobs.
And it's not just hype either. I mean, we're seeing real world examples of this already. Like Marriott, they've already made some major workforce reductions.
Exact. It's happening as we speak. And the big question everyone's asking is, what does this mean for the future of hospitality? How do we balance technological advancements with the human touch that makes this industry so unique?
That's exactly what we're going to unpack today using this PertLink report, The Future of Hospitality Workforce. It came out pretty recently, November 25th, 2024, and it's got some really insightful stuff.
Looking forward to it. I think everyone listening to this is probably prepping for some kind of presentation or meeting on this topic. So let's dive in and give them the intel they need.
So first things first, why is this happening? Why is AI suddenly such a big force in hospitality? What's driving this trend?
Well, the report points to a few key factors. First off, the hospitality industry is known for its tight margins and rising labor costs.
So automation becomes very appealing, especially with AI promising to do things more efficiently.
Right, and then you've got customer expectations. Everyone wants that seamless tech-enabled experience these days. You know, AI concierges, personalized recommendations.
The whole contactless thing that really accelerated during the pandemic.
Exactly. So you've got these converging forces that are really pushing AI to the forefront of the industry.
And it's not just about robots replacing humans at the front desk, right? It's much more nuanced than that.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
While AI is undoubtedly going to take over some of the traditional tasks, you know, think check-ins, basic guest inquiries, maybe even some aspects of food prep,
But it's also going to create new roles that we haven't even thought of yet.
right? The report actually predicts a surge in demand for data analysts, AI trainers, cybersecurity specialists, not your typical hospitality jobs.
So it's almost like we're seeing the birth of a whole new skills landscape within the industry.
Exactly, and that's what makes this so fascinating. It's not just about job losses, it's about a whole new set of opportunities emerging.
So how does this impact the existing workforce? What kind of skills will people need to thrive in this new AI-powered hospitality world?
Well, one of the things that PertLink really emphasizes is this idea of hybrid skills. The people who will succeed in this new environment are the ones who can blend their emotional intelligence with tech fluency.
So it's not enough to just be good with people or good with technology. You need both.
Exactly.
And
Especially for anyone in a customer-facing role, you need that human touch, but you also need to understand how AI is shaping the guest experience.
so thinking practically then, what are the implications here for someone listening to this as they prep for their work?
I'd say the first thing is to think about what kind of training programs you need to implement to equip your team with these hybrid skills.
And what specific challenges might you face in making that transition? How do you even begin to bridge that gap between traditional hospitality skills and this new world of AI?
Good questions. And the report does offer some guidance. They lay out this four-point vision for the near future that's worth unpacking.
All right, so hit me with it. What does PertLink see on the horizon?
So the first point is redefining roles. Their argument is that AI will inevitably handle a lot of the transactional repetitive tasks, which frees up human staff to focus on those experiential, human-centric aspects that AI can't replicate.
So instead of checking people in or answering basic questions, staff can focus on creating personalized itineraries, designing cultural immersion experiences, those unique moments that guests will remember.
Right? It's about leveraging human creativity and intuition in those areas where AI falls short.
So how do we get there? How do we make that shift from transactional to experiential?
That's where their second point comes in, upskilling initiatives. They're pretty blunt about this. Companies AVE to invest in retraining their workforce.
And it's not just about teaching them how to use AI tools, it's about developing a deeper understanding of data interpretation, critical thinking, problem solving, all those skills that will be crucial in an AI-powered world.
Right? And what I found really interesting is that they also stress the importance of soft skills alongside the technical stuff. Empathy, communication, adaptability, all the things that make us human.
Because at the end of the day, hospitality is still a people business.
Exactly. And that brings us to their third point, AI as augmenter, not replacer.
So it's not about fearing the robot takeover, it's about figuring out how AI can make human employees even better at their jobs.
Exactly. Imagine a concierge armed with AI insights so they could anticipate guest needs, like never before offer hyper-personalized recommendations, suggest off-the-beaten-path experiences that would just delight a traveler.
It's like giving them superpowers.
Exactly.
But how does all of this play out in the long run? What's Pertlink's vision for the future of the industry?
That's their fourth point. Resilience through innovation. The hospitality brands that thrive will be the ones that embrace these new technologies in creative ways.
Think virtual reality for marketing, augmented reality for on-site experiences, Internet of Things for operational efficiency.
Exactly. It's about constantly looking for new ways to enhance the guest experience through technology.
And that brings up a really important point, which is the ethical considerations of all this innovation. I
Mhm.
mean, we can't just blindly embrace technology without thinking about the human cost.
Right. The report actually uses Marriott's workforce reduction as a case study, highlighting this need to balance technological advancement with ethical treatment of employees.
So how do we ensure that AI is being used to create a better future for everyone, not just a select few? How do we avoid creating a digital divide within the industry?
That's where transparency and inclusivity come in. Companies need to be upfront with their employees about how AI is being implemented and what it means for their roles.
And they need to create opportunities for everyone to benefit from this transition, not just those who are already tech savvy.
Exactly. And this is where the role of leadership becomes so crucial.
Because ultimately, the future of hospitality is in the hands of those who are making decisions about how AI is being used.
Right? They need to be more than just tech savvy. They need to be visionaries who understand the human side of this equation and can create a culture that embraces innovation while also preserving those core values of hospitality.
So it's a lot to think about as we navigate this new landscape, but I think the key takeaway is that the future is not predetermined. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make.
And by the conversations we have, which is why these deep dives are so important.
Because we need to be having these discussions and thinking critically about how AI is going to impact not just the hospitality industry, but our lives as a whole.
Absolutely. The future is coming, whether we like it or not. So let's make sure we're shaping it in a way that benefits everyone.
Well said. And with that, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have. And I think we've given our listener a lot to chew on as they prepare for their presentation or meeting.
Absolutely. We've talked about the driving forces behind AI's rise in hospitality, the skills people will need to thrive in this new world, and the importance of ethical considerations.
And we've touched on Pertling's vision for the future, which is both exciting and a little bit daunting.
Yeah, it's clear that the hospitality industry is on the cusp of a major transformation, but it's also clear that there's a lot of opportunity here if we approach it the right way.
And that's what we're going to explore further in the next part of our deep dive. We'll look at some real-world examples of how AI is already enhancing the guest experience and what lessons we can learn from those early adopters.
So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a flash.
You know, it's funny, as we're talking about all this, I keep thinking back to that tsunami metaphor.
Yeah.
It's powerful imagery, but is it really accurate?
Hmm.
Is AI really a force of destruction for the hospitality industry? Or can companies ride this wave and come out stronger on the other side?
It's the question everyone's grappling with, right? And I think what's so interesting about the Pertlink report is that it doesn't present a doomsday scenario.
Right.
It's not like robots are going to take over every hotel and turn us all into butlers for
Yeah,
machines.
no, definitely not.
Instead, they paint this picture of a future where AI and human touch can coexist, where technology actually helps us create a more personalized, engaging experience for guests.
Right. And that's where I think things get really exciting because it's not just about automating existing
Yeah.
processes. It's about reimagining the entire guest experience. Think about it.
Okay, yeah.
What does luxury even look like in an AI-powered world? You know, what does it mean to provide truly exceptional service when you have access to all this data about individual preferences and behaviors?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me in the report was their emphasis on hyper-personalization.
Uh-huh.
They argue that this is going to be like the key differentiator for hospitality brands going forward. But how do we actually achieve that level of personalization?
I mean, AI is really the key here. Imagine being able to analyze vast amounts of data about
Yeah.
your guests, their past, stays, their preferences, even their social media activity, and then use that information to tailor every aspect of their experience from the moment they book to the time they check out. You could be offering them personalized recommendations, custom itineraries, even room environments that adjust to their individual needs.
So it's like taking that old school idea of white glove service and giving it a 21st century upgrade.
Exactly.
But I can also see some potential pitfalls here. Like what about data privacy? Are guests really comfortable with companies having access to that much information about them?
Yeah, that's a valid concern for sure, and it's something that hospitality companies are going to have to address very carefully.
Yeah.
Transparency and trust are going to be paramount.
Right.
Guests need to understand how their data is being used and feel confident that it's being handled responsibly.
Okay.
But I also think that if it's done right,
Yeah.
people are willing to share information if it means getting a more personalized and ultimately enjoyable experience.
So it's kind of like a value exchange. Exactly. You
It-
give me your data, I give you a better experience.
Exactly. And that's where the creativity and ingenuity of hospitality professionals come in. It's about finding those innovative ways to leverage data to enhance the guest experience,
Yeah.
not exploit it, you know?
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like imagine a scenario where a hotel uses AI to learn that a guest is really passionate about local art.
Okay.
They could then curate a personalized itinerary that includes, visits to nearby galleries, tickets to an art festival, even like a private meeting with a local artist.
Now that's what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah,
a true wow moment that a guest will remember long after their stay.
exactly.
But I do want to shift gears a little bit here with all this talk about AI and data.
Yeah.
I'm curious to get your take on the role of human connection in all of this.
Okay.
Is there a risk that we lose something essential if technology takes over too many of those personal interactions?
It's a great question, and it's one that I think a lot of people are wrestling with.
Yeah.
I don't think human connection is going away. I think it's just going to evolve as AI handles more of those routine tasks. Hospitality staff will be freed up to focus on those higher level interactions that require empathy, emotional intelligence, and that uniquely human ability to build rapport.
So it's not about replacing human interaction, it's about making it more meaningful.
Exactly.
Right.
Think about a hotel staff member who, armed with AI insights about a guest's interests and preferences,
Hmm.
can engage in a deeper conversation, about their travel aspirations, their favorite hobbies, their dream destinations. And then based on that conversation,
Yeah.
they can craft a truly personalized experience that goes above and beyond anything the guest could have imagined.
I love that. It's like the technology fades into the background and what's left is that genuine human connection.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're all speaking for, right? To use technology to create a more human-centered experience.
Absolutely.
Uh,
But let's get practical for a moment. We've talked about this grand vision of the future. But for those hospitality companies that are like trying to navigate this AI wave right now, what advice would you give them?
Well, I think the first step is to really take a hard look at their current workforce and identify any skills gaps that need to be addressed.
Okay.
Investing in training and development programs is going to be crucial,
Right.
not just for technical skills, but also for those all-important soft skills,
Yeah.
communication, problem solving, adaptability.
So it's about preparing your people for the future, equipping them with the tools and mindset they need to thrive in this new landscape.
Exactly. And remember, the hospitality industry has always been about embracing change.
Sure.
This is just another evolution in that journey.
Mhm.
The companies that succeed will be the ones that approach this transition with a sense of optimism
Yeah.
and a willingness to experiment and innovate.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I like
the
that.
future is full of possibilities.
So we've talked a lot about the big trends and, upskilling and all that, but I want to get a little more concrete here.
Okay, sure.
What does this AI revolution actually look like in practice? What are some real-world examples of how AI is actually making the guest experience better? Because I think that's what's really going to help our listener as they're prepping for their presentation.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So one area where we're seeing a lot of innovation is in personalized recommendations.
Okay.
Hotels are using AI to, analyze all that guest data we talked about, past days, preferences, even social media to suggest everything from, nearby restaurants and attractions to tailored spa treatments,
Okay.
in-room amenities, really anything you can think of.
It's like having a personal concierge in your pocket.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just recommendations, too. Some hotels are using AI-powered chatbots now to handle guest requests,
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
answer questions, even provide room service.
Uh-huh.
These bots are getting so sophisticated, they can understand natural language and respond in a way that feels almost human.
Yeah, I've actually interacted with some of these chatbots, and it's really impressive how seamless it feels. Like you can just text them a question about, the hotel's gym hours or request extra towels, and they just take care of it instantly.
Exactly. And it really frees up staff to focus on those more complex interactions that,
Yeah.
really require that human touch.
Right, makes sense. But here's where I think it gets really interesting.
Okay.
AI isn't just about convenience and efficiency. It's also being used to create these truly immersive and engaging experiences.
Absolutely.
Like, I've been reading about hotels that are experimenting with augmented reality apps
Uh-huh.
that provide interactive tours of the property or the surrounding area.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, imagine pointing your phone at a painting in the lobby and instantly getting the full backstory on the artist, or using your tablet to explore a 3D model of the hotel's rooftop garden before you even go up there.
It's like blurring the lines between the physical and digital worlds.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can see how this kind of stuff would really make a presentation pop.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we're just scratching the surface here. I mean, we're seeing hotels use AI to personalize everything from room temperature and lighting to music, even sets,
Wow.
based on guest preferences. It's about creating an environment that feels tailor-made for each individual.
So it's not just about, having the fanciest tech gadgets. It's about using technology in a way that makes guests feel truly valued and cared for.
Exactly. And I think that's where the real magic of AI lies, in its ability to amplify those human elements of hospitality that have always been at the heart of the industry.
It's not about replacing humans, it's about empowering them.
Right on?
It's like AI is giving hospitality professionals a superpower,
I like that analogy.
enabling them to provide a level of service that was never before possible.
Exactly. And I think as we wrap up this deep dive, it's important to remember that while AI is an incredibly powerful tool,
Uh-huh.
it's ultimately up to us humans to wield it in a way that benefits both guests and employees.
So it all comes back to leadership and vision, making sure we're using this technology to create a better future for everyone.
Couldn't agree more.
The hospitality brands that will thrive in this new AI-powered world are the ones that figure out how to use this technology not to replace human connection, but to enhance it.
Absolutely well said.
So to our listener out there, as you're prepping for that big presentation, really think about what kind of future you want to create. What kind of training program would you prioritize? What unique guest experience would you design that AI just can't replicate?
Great questions to ponder.
This deep dive has given you the knowledge and the tools to be part of shaping that future, and we're excited to see what you come up with. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and until next time, keep diving deep.